So what is generative AI? So the GPT as a model helps you to generate new content. So what is done? I mean, like the algorithm, something like the Chat GPT. It basically uses this large language model, and it has large data which is trained, which is from the social media, or it could be from the different websites. So using that, actually, this is trained. So, for example, let us ask a question like, what is generative AI? Basically, this is what the response what you get from ChatGPT. So this is not any different from what we have discussed so far, actually. Yeah. So now we should have a very good idea about what is generative AI. I mean, how the NLP world started, and then where we are today. So today, we are able to generate new content. It could be like of text, or it could be of images, or whatever it is, or videos, or TikToks. Everything is possible through generative AI. At the same time, what we need to be clear is it is all about generative. It is not about understanding. Of course, the model can be tuned to be able to understand what is being spoken, and that is where, I have mentioned as tuning has to be there. But the main focus of generative AI is about energy. It is not about energy. Okay. So we have seen one portion of our topic, which is basically the generative AI. Then the second portion of topic is about how it can change the chatbot world. Okay. So I'm staying away from removing, I mean, using the term chatbot, because chatbot, so far the experience of chatbot has been more of uh, 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 a small icon which is sitting in your website, and then whenever you ask a question, it gives you the standard answer. So that was not very interactive and then very engaging. So for you to have a good conversation, you need to understand the context of what the user is asking, and then how do you respond to it in a smarter way. So that is where we always call it as a conversational AI. So conversational AI is the goal is basically it should use language as interface. It could be either voice or a text, and it should have a highly personalized customer experience. And it should have a very good understanding of what the user is asking and what is the context in which he is asking. And it should get some good operational efficiencies. So the operational efficiency could be as simple as offloading 30% of customer calls to this the virtual assistant. So how do we develop that is entirely is what we call it a smart assistant, or the virtual assistant, and that is what we call it as conversational AI. So this is basically what we have. Uh, what we can implement could be either a chatbot or it could be a virtual assistant, and we have a conversational platform. So this conversational platform helps you to implement a chatbot, which could be sitting in your website, or it could be a virtual assistant where it could be performing certain actions based on what is being asked and other things. So that's a brief about what is conversational AI. So now we will see we come to the main topic of the day, which is basically how do we change the chatbot experience with generative AI. So now we have a very good idea about what is generative AI, and then we also know what is conversational AI. Sorry. Now let us see what are the challenges what you face when it comes to chatbots. Okay. Today, chatbot experience, like now, as I said, it is not very intuitive or like it's very engaging, mainly also because of the limitations on the technologies what we have today. So mostly today, the chatbots are used uh, by a set of Q&As or FAQs. So it tries to get the data, which is, or it tries to get a content which is available in your website or in whatever you have trained, and then it tries to give a response to the customer or the user. Uh, the problem is like, what you train as a data is limited. So the accuracy is also like very limited. And then the responses what you generate are mostly predefined content, meaning like, if someone is asking like, if you have a bot where you have trained what is your payday, and then you have said like our payday is 10th of March. Okay. So then the responses is mostly limited to what you give us a response. Okay, if someone is saying like, can I get my pay by 5th of this month? The chatbot will still give like another payday is like 10th March. It doesn't give you an more engaging answer actually. Okay, so this makes your experience like more predictable, and people will over a period of time over uses the bot. They know what is the answer they are going to get, and then it becomes disengaging actually. And today's chatbots mostly they don't carry the context. So suppose like you ask a question, how is the for example, right? How much cost to buy this insurance? Okay, so it will give you a code saying that it is going to cost you 55,000, and you ask the next question: can I add my father to this insurance? It will not be able to answer you because like it doesn't have the context of you are talking about the previous code. Sorry, excuse me, sorry, a bad throat. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So this is where like the Gen AI and GPT comes into the picture. So first of all, the answers can be like a lot more pointed, and then accuracy is better. So when someone is asking like what, I mean, can I get paid by 5th of March? It will say no, you cannot. The payday is on the 10th. So there is a lot more uh, pointed answer, and then the accuracy is better. So the good thing is it is not that you are limited with the large language model, which is training the foundation model. On top of that large language model, you can still train a corpus of knowledge actually. This corpus of knowledge can help you to provide the responses. Then the training is from unlabeled and unstructured data. So free formatted data is very much easy. So I can go to a website and then I can say like, uh, you try this, and then you try this data, then you can be trained, and then you can start answering. So the third important point is the responses are generated. Okay, so it is no longer a standard response, which makes the users disengaging. This will be like based on what is the current context, and then it also understands the latest content, and using that, it tries to answer. So finally, the most important thing why the Gen AI and GPT makes chatbot experience better is the context of the questions. So since you understand the context as a parameter as part of the entire training, your ability, I mean, like the bot's ability to understand the context and then answer to it is like a lot more better actually. So it gives you an engaging experience to the customer. Having said this, it is not that plug and play. to be honest, actually. So there are some challenges. First is like, making the enterprise application, the chatbot ready for enterprise deployment. It needs a significant investment in infrastructure. Suppose like if you want to deploy a Gen AI model in your premises, so the amount of GPU we need to train the data and then get the answers, it's going to be huge. Okay. And all your content should be available in some digital form. It could be a website, or it could be some CSV file, or it could be some PDF, but it should be available in digital form. Okay. And what is another important piece of advice what we would give is, we should also know what we want to train and then what we want to leave out actually. While ChatGPT, I mean, the GPT can be a lot more powerful, it can be also very biased depending on what kind of content we give. So we need to be extremely careful on the setting the boundaries, and then how do we do that? And finally, like, as it's an evolving field, there should be a constant upgrade to whatever is happening on the algorithm, the models, and the training, so that it remains competitive.